Not all water softeners are created equal, and the differences can mean a lot to both your family, your home, and the environment. Making the wrong choice can actually cost you money, could make your life more difficult, and could be in a situation where your family's appliances and clothing and hair can get damaged from that hard water. EcoWater water softeners promise advanced technology, but how do they stack up to all the other products that are on the market today? So what you see here is I'm standing in front of standard water softeners today. And the reason why I'm standing in front of standard water softeners, or I guess you could call it sticker water softeners, is because that's what most of the time you see online today. Or you call a lot of water softener companies that are on Google or where have you, and you're going to find Chuck in the truck and what are those water softeners. So we want to be able to compare them all so you can understand the value proposition of EcoWater and see whether or not it's worth your while or not. So let's begin first and foremost with what is the lion's share of water softeners on the market. And that's because if you go online and you just Google water softeners, you don't see a lot of EcoWater because it's actually a professional grade water softener system, and they sell to dealers around the country, independent dealers around the country, so they don't really market themselves. They don't have real national advertising. And when you look at sticker company products, you'll find different sticker company products, whether you have Aquasana, who tries to sell salt-free systems, to discount this guy, discount that guy water filter. So you'll find a lot of that stuff online because they're paying for Google AdWords to show up in front of you, where EcoWater, Culligan, they really don't do that much. So what we want to do is we want to identify what is it that makes EcoWater so much better than the standard products that are on the market. So let's just take a look at it today. First off, it's antiquated technology. When we take a look at most of the products sold online today, you're going to find Autotrol control valves, Fleck control valves. Most of the time you won't find Clack, but you'll find these guys online a lot. Now, a lot of companies will put a new face on it, put a new face on here, and they have a different looking sticker. And I get calls all the time, I get emails all the time. They're like, what about this company? What about that company? This company's huge in Texas. And it's like, they're really not that big. I mean, their marketing looks big, but they're really not that big. Maybe a couple of your neighbors bought it, but the easiest way to really identify the size of a company is just to find their address on the website. Get their address. If they don't have an address, pro tip, they're not a factory, right? It's a dude in a garage, and they're calling themselves discount this water softener, discount that guy, discount water filter, whatever it is. And all they're doing is they're basically taking a control valve, and look how easy that is, right? We're unscrewing and taking the valve off of a tank. We can put resin inside that tank, which is the filter material you'll see here, and then they can simply screw this valve on, call it the most amazing A+ water softener. Why A+? So that when you're Googling it, I want the best quality, and maybe A+ comes up first, but they will say that this thing's magical. Now, those companies then have talked to Fleck or Autotrol to get different designed plates to go in front of it, but realistically, it's the same thing. So it's a company that has assembled a unit, put a sticker on it, and then they may have gone online and gotten some Google reviews or what have you, but that basically you're looking at old technology. And I say old technology because they may have a meter where it's counting gallons and then cleaning itself. It may be a time clock where it just automatically goes through regeneration. By the way, those are usually the least expensive on the internet today. And then there might be something where there's a little bit more advanced technology that you see out there. This is a Clack control valve, and this is probably sold through only OEMs. It should never be found online. But again, OEMs or original equipment distributors or manufacturers, they're going to assemble it and then sell it to a dealer, and they're going to stick their sticker on it. You can have your call. Do I want something like that? Well, it all depends on whether or not you feel comfortable with the sales company. So if you're going online finding something, well, you got to have a level of comfort. How do you get that level of comfort? Well, you'd want to Google their address and see if they truly have a facility or they're in some guy's garage. If you don't find an address on there, well, then you're probably not going to be able to knock on their door should you have a problem. And see, to me, that's a key feature. Like, I want to be able to go, hey, this thing sucks, right? I have a problem with it. And you want to make sure they answer the phone. You know what a lot of these companies do, at least that's what we found over the past 26 years, is they're sales organizations. So they're really good at marketing and putting their name out there and getting Google reviews from their friends and family. And then you go online and you're like, I did my research, they're great people. But you didn't see whether or not they have NSF 44 certification. And you have to go to nsf.org for that. You may not have checked to see if they have an address on their website. So you can Google their address and truly look at their facility using Google Maps. So then you have just some chuck in the truck assembling it in a warehouse and then selling it and packing it and sending it to you online. And when you call for service, they press do not answer on their cell phone and they realize after a couple calls they're just not going to answer your call, and then you're in the lurch. So that said, you do your homework. If you want to buy a sticker product, you got to do some homework. But what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the features that sort of separate this from EcoWater, right? When you have this, it's an OEM or someone building it and selling it to you online. Or when you go to EcoWater, you have a professional grade company, meaning EcoWater did their homework and then checked out the dealer who's going to do the install. They have trainers who come out to the facility to train them, to teach them not sales, but also service. How do you service this piece of equipment? Now, if you got a chuck in the truck, they got to look at the manual, and they got to trial and error it, versus EcoWater, who they come out and they actually do the education to the service technicians so they can understand it. So that's number one. That's a great thing, right? They do training. Number two, EcoWater has their product NSF. That's National Sanitation Foundation 44 certified. National Sanitation Foundation, not only are they throwing thousands of gallons of water at it and then testing it to make sure it's made it soft water, they're also making sure that it took out radium-228, radium-226, and barium, which is sometimes found in private wells or city water throughout the United States. But that aspect that they prove that system continues to take out the stuff out of the water, that proves to you that there's a value proposition for you to buy EcoWater, because they've literally put their money where their mouth is. It's not like this where we're building it to be as cheap as possible so that you can say, yeah, I'll buy it. It's like, where's the lowest you can go? Yeah, you can spend all day online. I'm going to buy a 48,000 grain water softener. I'm going to go from website to website to website. But all you're doing is you're finding out which one got the best price on the cheapest stuff, which now is made in China. And the thing is that quality just isn't there. So when you want something that's going to last a long time, when you want something that's going to have some extra features, well, the EcoWater product does offer that. So number one is that NSF certification. Number two, it's made in America. They got a manufacturing plant down in Mississippi, and they have one up in Minnesota. So you have two facilities. Yes, you can Google it, and you can do a Google map, and you can have Google drive around the building, and you can see it's a gigantic facility making the product in America. So that creates value proposition for you as well. You know that they can't hide from you, right? They're there. You could go knock on their door and say, I got a problem. But also you'll find that the licensed or authorized dealers have facilities as well. So you could also knock on their doors and say, I'm not happy with what's going on, if that were to happen. Now, let's talk about some of the technology aspects. EcoWater, their products, whether it's the refiner series, they have a patent on a refiner series. So if you have hard water that's on city water too, they're adding chlorine to the water and you want to take out the rock. Well, their refiner series does that. If you're on a private well, their ECR series takes just the rock out and there's no carbon in that. Now, here's why that's important. First of all, carbon takes out chlorine, but if you have that on well water, it can be a breeding ground for bacteria. That's why their ECR series does not have carbon. Conversely, that their ERR or refiner series does. But they have a patent on that refiner. It's designed to take out the chlorine and the rock. And it has a It also has Wi-Fi technology, so you're able to actually get alerts if the water is running in the home. Let's say that you have a faucet that breaks and you're at the movie theater or you're out of town. Well, you're going to see this thing going off and you're going to go, oh my God, we got high water usage. Call a friend, a family member who could go over to your house and check to see what's running. It also is very important because it can track how many gallons you're using every day. So an average person is using 50 gallons to 75 gallons per person per day. So if it's a family of 3, that's about 75 gallons of water a day. If you're way over that, it tells you you have a leaky toilet, or you got something going on in the home, maybe a humidifier, maybe something else is consuming a lot of water, and you get to go identify what that is. Now, it's a very important feature because I can't tell you how many times we've had clients who are like, I'm telling you, my water doesn't work right, and and it doesn't feel right. Well, it's a leaky toilet. That's like one of the top reasons why water softeners fail is because your home has a leaky toilet. That product's going to be able to tell you that's going on. In addition to that, this product has an exact salt dosing. That means it knows exactly how much salt is needed to clean this filter material. And that can change day in and day out. They have a computerized algorithm that can track your water usage and know that, hey, listen, if I want to regenerate today, I only need to use 50% of the typical salt. This unit typically would need 10 pounds of salt, but it might say, oh, you know what? It's coming on the weekend. We're going to regenerate today so that we're ready for a high weekend water usage, because maybe you do a lot of laundry on the weekend. Well, now it knows only to dose 5 pounds of salt, not 10. All others dose full 10 pounds of salt. Now here's the magic. The excess water or excess salt that these units would use goes down the drain, which goes to septic pump, which goes to your septic tank. So the pump can get corroded, the septic tank can have problems, it can go out into the septic field and cause issues. Whereas when you go with an EcoWater unit, you have exact salt dosing. A huge, huge, humongous big advantage that you have compared to any of the other products on the market today. So when you're looking at this EcoWater and you think to yourself, maybe I'm going to save some money, you absolutely will save money. In fact, I'll even tell you a quick story. We had a client that one of my employees sold an ECR to, and my company was delivering them salt. By the way, just to clarify things, we hate delivering salt. When you go to companies like Aquasana or some of the other companies, they're like, hey, you don't want to buy a salt-based system, that's old technology. Yes, we sell salt-free systems too, but they don't take the rock off the water droplet. They say that they keep it attached to the water droplet. But pro tip, when it comes out of the faucet, the rock comes off. It stains it dries out your hair, dries out your skin, and ruins your dishes and your dishwasher, your laundry machine, and even your water heater. So the only thing that it's really good for, salt-free, is to prevent the scaling inside the plumbing and clogging the plumbing. That's the only thing it's really good for. When we go to removing the rock, that's the important facet. And that EcoWater unit having that exact salt dosing and the features that they offer are phenomenal, because you know that this unit is absolutely removing the rock out of the water and tells you when you need to add salt to the water softener as well, because it's got a little eye in it that can actually measure the salt, how much salt is inside the salt tank, so you know when you need to add salt to the water softener. So that said, that also makes it a very valuable aspect to investing a little bit more money on a professional grade unit compared to an online or sticker company product or chuck in the truck that might be selling you a water softener system. Now, EcoWater being made in America, having NSF 44 certification, using professional dealers that are authorized dealers from around the country, these create a extra value, exact salt dosing, and also upflow brine. I forgot to explain to you that there's upflow brine, which means when they dose the salt, it goes from the bottom up versus the top down. Now, people don't really understand that. It's a little technical, but it really makes the dosing of the salt to clean this filter material way more efficient than if we're doing from top down. Top down, a lot of times the salt doesn't get an ion exchange on the top, but it is already exchanged on the bottom, meaning that it gets a better dosing of the salt across the filter bed. Those features are what makes EcoWater water softeners so much better than the average online product. So what we hope today is that you learned a little bit about EcoWater water softeners. If you know someone looking to buy a water softener, if you know someone who's not happy with their water, please click like. Please share this with your friends and family. Join our community if you don't mind. We are passionate about making you and your family more healthy and saving you money. So when we look at what the EcoWater product can do, yes, it can cost a little bit more money up front, but the whole idea is it saves you money as time goes on. By the way, the last feature I'd like to highlight is, as a service company who's been servicing products for over 50 years, we can honestly look at you in the eye and say, this needs substantially less service than any of the other products on the market. So, in fact, there was a time that we actually had one of my employees, he was at a customer's house literally because their water was so hard. It was once a month, and whenever he came over, the client had a cup of coffee, and they're like, hey, how's it going? And he's like, they would sit down and have coffee once a month. That client asked for a maintenance program so that our service technician, who they fell in love with one person, they wanted him to show up the first of every month, and it was crazy. And that's because it was this antiquated technology, which is auto-troll with these flappers. Conversely, when you're taking a look at a dual rotor control valve like EcoWater, we have some clients we haven't seen in 10 years. So that gives you a really good understanding about why there's a little bit more value to, or a lot more value to, an EcoWater water softener as compared to a standard unit that you find online. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to call us. Our phone number is 847-382-7800. You can visit us. We're in West Palm Beach and Lake Barrington, Illinois. West Palm Beach, Florida, by the way. And you can also call us at 847-382-7800. Our website is angelwater.com. And as you know, our passion here at Angel Water is help you save money. So we hope we've done that. And by the way, make you and your family more healthy. We hope we've been able to achieve that with you on this video. Again, as you know, my name is Drew, and I'm here to serve you.